Hello everyone, this is Vortex, back from an extended hiatus, welcoming you to a new episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy I. I actually just went through a very long move as part of a job transfer from Texas to Alabama, and it was a pretty long process. It took about 3 months to go through, and I actually just moved into my new place last week, and I finally got internet services reestablished yesterday. So after a pretty crazy time, things are finally getting back to normal for me, and now that things are really getting back in order, it's time for us to continue onward following the adventures of the Light Warriors and their journey to restore peace to the world. And in our last episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy I, we vanquished the Fiend of Water Kraken, and we were able to restore the Crystal of Water to Grace. And if you look in your menu down at the lower right, you can see that indeed the Water Crystal has been relit, and that only leaves one crystal left to light, the Wind Crystal, but we really haven't had too many clues regarding its whereabouts. But we do know that there are a couple of loose ends that do need to be tied up. You might remember that we found a key item back down in the sunken shrine known as the Rosetta Stone, which is a tablet inscribed with ancient writing. And we've heard of a scholar named Dr. Un. We've actually met him before in the village of Melmond, and he may just know how to decipher that text. And if we go back into the village of Onrak and head down to the south from the entrance, back down to where the inn is, there is a scholar up here who is actually related to the good Dr. Un. And when you talk to him this time, he seems a bit surprised that the Light Warriors have found the Rosetta Stone, and he implores them to take it to his brother, Un, immediately. So that's something we'll definitely want to put on our to-do list. We'll want to go back down to Melmond and show this Rosetta Stone to Dr. Un as soon as possible. But for the purposes of today's episode, there's actually another lead that I want to follow up on. Now, you might remember that we've talked to a couple of folks here in the Northern Lands who've been somewhat spooked by what they believe is a UFO or a shining object flying through the sky. Now, personally, if it were just me, I'd be a bit more spooked that there's a red dragon skulking around the town. But maybe that's just me. But I digress. Let's keep heading to the east here. There's actually one such UFO spotter that we've talked to in the past. His name is Copy, and he wants to know if we've heard about the shining object that he's seen, and actually we do want to know more about it. Now we'll find out from him that he saw it come down from the sky down towards the earth somewhere near the waterfall to the north of Onrak. So that seems like a pretty good place to go investigate to see if we can find more about this mysterious shining object. No one believes poor Copy though. They think he's crazy, but Copy thinks it was some sort of mechanical creature. So apparently some sort of mechanical looking thing has been seen falling from the sky. Now, before we head off in search of that waterfall and that UFO, I do want to spend some of the hard-earned gil that I found within the depths of the sunken shrine. I've got just a little bit more than 195,000 gil in my coffer, and I'm going to blow that, or a good chunk of that at least, on the remainder of those level 7 spells for both Lena and Vivi. So let's go into the white magic shop first, and we'll talk to the white wizard in charge here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and purchase the Null Death and Hilaga spells for Lena. And you can see Null Death will enhance party's defense against death. That could become in handy here before too long. And I'm going to also get the Hilaga spell. That's a pretty good spell. It will restore quite a lot of HP to the entire party. So now Lena is completely filled up with level 7 white magic, with only level 8 white magic left to go. Let's go next door to the black magic shop and purchase Vivi's last level 7 black magic spell. Now, the blind spell doesn't really seem to be too useful to me, so I guess I'll just go ahead and get the saber spell for Vivi, though I'll probably rarely use it. But just for completion purposes, I've got that available for him now in his black magic menu. Alright, so now that we've taken care of that, it is time to go hunting for a waterfall. So let's just go ahead and run out of town here. If I can get this red dragon out of my way, I guess I'll just walk around him there. And let's go ahead and press B select to pull up our map. I'm going to zoom in here. Now we're currently located right next to the village of Onrak. From here, what we want to do is head off to the west a little ways, and then we'll plop our handy canoe into the river, and we will paddle our way to the north. And right about here, we should find what we're looking for. So, are you ready? Well, let's just head that way then. And we're ready to get in our canoe in the water, so let's start paddling to the north. Now, this will be a good place to fill up your bestiary entries with the rest of those river monsters if you haven't done so already. I believe we're nearly there. Yep, there it is. There's the waterfall. That didn't take long at all, did it? And I did so monster free. That's always a good thing. I'll probably pay for it once I enter the Waterfall Cavern here. Yep, behind the waterfall we'll find an entrance leading down into the Waterfall Cavern. Now, this cavern only has one floor, but it is a great place to get lost in with all of its twisting turns and dead ends that it offers. But just follow me and you should be good to go. Now, most of the monsters in here are just rehashes of those we've encountered before. You'll find clay golems in here, plenty of mummies and king mummies, and also those nightmares, the snorting horses that like to try to blind you. But really, the monsters are going to be pretty easy to defeat in here, I think, for the most part. There is one rare monster you can find roaming around here known as the green dragon, but I think it's kind of hard to find, and we'll be running into it a little bit later on if we don't find it in here. Alright, so let's get started here. Let's just head to the north. Now, there's one of those bats flying around. You know, for some reason these bats in these caves really remind me of the very first adventure game I ever played. Ah, yes, the good old days of Atari. Nostalgia. Of course, I guess playing Final Fantasy I should also be nostalgic, since it's nearly 25 years old already. At least in Japan it is. I think it came out, what, in 1990 here in North America? Wow, that's going to be 22 years ago this year. Seems just like yesterday I got this game for my Nintendo Entertainment System when I was a kid. Time sure does fly when you're having fun. And of course, this Dawn of Souls version of Final Fantasy I is nearly 8 years old already, I believe. I think it came out in 2004. Well, let's just see if we can find a... what is it, an alien robot that we're looking for in here? Kind of crazy sounding, isn't it? Well, so far I don't think I'm lost. I think we're doing good. I'll just keep winding around here. There's another one of those bats in the belfry. Well, I'm kind of glad I've got the camera pointed at my DS screen instead of my house here, because it really is a mess. I've got boxes scattered everywhere from trying to unpack after this recent move. It's going to take the course of probably 2 to 3 more weeks just to get things in order here. One thing I still need to do is get some blinds on my windows. All my windows are kind of open here, so my neighbors could very well be looking through the window at me talking to myself while I'm playing a video game, thinking, oh great, who is this guy that just moved into our neighborhood? Call the police. I think we're nearly to the finish line here. I think all we need to do now is just head a little ways to the east, Yep, there it is. There is the chamber that we want to enter. Now, be wary. Once you walk inside, you will be forced into an encounter with some nasty monsters, and some of those could very well be pyralisks and or cockatrice birds. Let's see what luck I have walking through here. Oh goody, I'm going to get to fight 6 of those cockatrice birds and 3 pyralisks. Remember, the pyralisks can instantly KO you, whereas the cockatrice birds can turn you to stone, so this could be a fun battle. Well, what I'm going to do is have Lena use the gauntlets for a lot of damage, and I'm going to have Vivi use his Blizzaga spell, I guess. I have a feeling that the birds are going to have a chance to attack first. Oh no! I got killed by a bird! Yep. And it's all Alfred Hitchcock's fault, too. If it weren't for him, then the designers of this game probably wouldn't have made such deadly birds. Well, actually, they probably would have. Oh no. Well, there you go. There's Cloud's. Is that his first fatality in this playthrough? I can't remember. Probably not. He's probably gotten KO'd before by something. At least turned to stone, but yeah, you can see how deadly those pyralisks can be. Gold needle's not really going to help me much in this situation. What I'm going to need is a Phoenix down, so I'll just use that on Cloud. And I guess I need to put a high potion on him too. Great. Well, there's that mechanical mystery walking around right there, but before we check it out, you can see we've got 6 treasure chests that we can loot. So let's go ahead and open those first. And the first treasure chest is going to contain a wizard's staff. And if you want to, you can equip that on your black wizard. Now, if I were to equip that on Vivi, it would take his attack and accuracy down, but the wizard staff will actually cast the Confuse spell when used as an item in battle, and that can be kind of fun sometimes, so we'll definitely hang on to that. And the second treasure chest will contain a ribbon, and we're going to put that pretty red ribbon in Vivi's hair, and we're going to replace that leather cap that he's been wearing since the beginning of the game. Poor Vivi. He's going to have to get in touch with his feminine side with that, but you know what? I guess it really doesn't matter because that ribbon will ward off special attacks, so it will be useful. Third treasure chest contains some cash. There's 13,450 gil. Fourth treasure chest contains 6,400 gil. Very nice. There's 5 G's in the fifth treasure chest. And the sixth and final treasure chest will contain a defender sword, which is very nice. A very nice new weapon for Cloud. It is a sword that casts Blink when used as an item in battle, so that could come in very handy. Plus, it will take his attack and accuracy up, so we'll definitely place that on him. Alright, so let's go over here and chat with this robot. I have been waiting. Take this cube. Tia, Matt, Flying Fortress, please. And it looks like the mechanical creature hands the Light Warriors a warp cube. Alright. Uh-oh. What happened here?
What do you mean, broken?
Aw, poor robot. Sounds like his circuits are out of whack. Oh no. But it did hand us an item called the Warp Cube. And we now have that in our key items menu. It is a cube made of multi-hued substance. And the robot was muttering something about a flying fortress and Tiamat. What's that all about? Well, hopefully we'll be finding the answers to those questions in our future episodes of Let's Play Final Fantasy I. And we'll try to find out more info about that next time when we pay Dr. Un a visit in Melman. So, thank you so much for watching today's episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy I. covering the Waterfall Cavern. I hope you found it helpful. This is your host, Vortex, bidding you farewell, but I'll be back again soon. Definitely not 4 months like it was last time. I hope to have another episode up within the next day or so. So have a great day. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again next time.